Welcome to Withdraw Consent. My name is Victor. This is Jack. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I want to make the argument today that Joe Rogan's completely wrong in his viral clip about Patriot Front. I want to make the argument, and you might just start typing glowy in the comments, but hear me out on this because they're not talking with any amount of research or just anything. They're just talking out their butts, and what they're doing is literally like defamation.
Okay,
really. And when I was pitching the story to Victor made a great point, and he's like, they're trying to prevent people from joining organizations by saying that organizations are feds.
Right.
Now, I don't doubt that there is an informant or two, or maybe an agent or two in this, but to say that all these people are feds. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the viral clip of Joe Rogan, about half of it. Okay. It's real quick. And then I'm going to show you a Patriot Front video, and I'm going to show you another video from a group you might not have heard of, and I'm going to make some points, and I bet you I can convince you that the majority of these people aren't feds.
Okay, wow.
Or you use this to judge whether or not I'm a fed, whether or not I'm doing my research. Go ahead.
We got our uniforms on, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so let's run the Joe Rogan clip.
Okay.
We'll do about half of it.
All right.
Look at these guys. Where's the fat people?
Sorry about the language. Warning.
How come they're all wearing the same clothes? Do that again. What the fuck is this? Have you ever seen anything that looks more like feds?
He said, where's the fat
Tell
people?
me that doesn't look like feds. Right?
It's like the 101st Airborne.
Bro, look at this. These guys are all runners. These guys look like they just got out of buds.
I mean, look.
The fuck out of here. Look at this. The fuck out of here. How do they all have like uniformed outfits on? They have the same color pants for the most part. Very little variation. They have tan or brown pants.
He says they have
dark
the same
blue
color faces.
shirts with the fucking stupid flag on it. This asshole's got a drum. Back that up. Look at the fucking drum. Bitch, are you Paul Revere? What the fuck are you doing with that drum?
He's got to be.
He's walking around with a band drum,
It's
like
white
a high
power
school
drum
band.
line.
This is so stupid. It hurts my feelings. They have the same fucking size flags, the same white coloring on their face, the same tan hats on. Get the fuck out of here.
And why are they wearing masks, by the way? Like,
Because they're cowards,
right?
or they're feds.
Yeah.
What was the thing recently with
That's good. Okay, so what do you think about that? Well, let me tell you who Patriot Front is.
Okay.
It's white nationalists.
Okay.
So they're not white supremacists. They want a white country for white people, which under the law of self-determination, all countries get that. Your ethnic group gets to choose what they do with the country.
Gotcha.
And that's what they want.
Okay, makes sense.
So basically, that clip was taken at, I think every year they go to Washington, D.C., they get a permit, they had a police escort, they march. I believe there was 150 people this time. It's probably much more than that because they always lie down the numbers on people they don't like, you know?
Yeah.
They did their march, they were protected by the police, they came, they left, no violence, people yelled at them, like whatever, you First Amendment, yell at them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did their drum, they didn't do speeches, they didn't do slurs, they just did their thing. So what do you think about Rogan?
He was really amped up. I don't know why he was so offended by the whole thing. Even if he does believe they're feds or whatever, it just seems, it was a very over-the-top reaction from him.
Okay, so these people have a dress code.
Yeah.
They agree to all wear khakis. They agree to wear the same color hat so they can't be differentiated if a fight goes down. That's not evidence.
Right.
That they have a drum guy is not evidence. Because literally, I'm going to link you to a video, and if you're on YouTube, you're going to have to watch this video on BitChute, Rumble, or Gab TV to see the link in the description. Because it's not on YouTube anymore. I watched this video originally. The reason why I know the video exists because I watched the entire documentary series on YouTube. Now you can only find part 2 of it, and I wanted to link part 1, which so you can find them on the other platforms, and I'll link it on the other platforms. But basically, they had this. I think it was a Hispanic guy who they allowed to come out there under the condition that he respects their anonymity. So he doesn't film anybody without a mask on unless they take the mask off voluntarily. And they let them see their whole operation, you know? And in this documentary, we're going to watch a clip from it in a second, but they literally do the marching drills. They literally teach them how to hold the flags. They teach the drummer how to walk your steps. Like they're practicing this to be professional at it, you know? And so that they're wearing the same clothes is silly.
Right.
That Antifa wears the same clothes. Are they feds? Well, so some of them are, some of them aren't. That's not relevant at all.
Right.
You know? And what about when he said, why are they wearing masks? Because they're cowards. What do you think about that?
No, it's because your life will be ruined if they identify you.
You'll be debanked. I mean, these guys are covering for the people in the federal government. Like Rogan's covering for the people in the federal government who would ruin these dudes' lives.
Right. Yeah.
So when we watch that video, I just see, oh, this is the system. This is the propaganda arm of the system. This is no different than watching CNN. And sorry if you like Joe Rogan, because he does do some good stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
But here he's got an agenda, and his agenda is not in line with the truth whatsoever. Okay. So here's my main pitch. So this is the main thing. Okay. He's saying, where are the fat people? Because he's saying, look, if they were a militia, a two-way militia, they'd be a bunch of fat beer drinking dudes in camo. These people are not a militia. They are technically, by the Constitution, a militia, but they're not your militia people. They're not backwoods people. They're an entire different group of people, right? So I had a friend growing up who's passed now, and he was in a group that you would call a hate group, right? I was never, you know what I mean? But I did see him and his friends and this and that. And you've got to understand, like a militia, they train with weapons. They have all the supplies, the ballistic vest, the food supplies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the things they have. But they don't necessarily have to be in the best shape. You got to be a sharp shot, but you don't got to be in the best shape. When you look at these other people, the hate group people who, like, oh my gosh, it's allowed if you're any other race. These people, what they're saying is allowed if you're any other race. It's just not allowed now. These people, they have an entire, I'm going to show you the videos in a second. They have an entire culture of working out, of improving themselves, their mind, their body, their spirituality, everything. So first I'm going to show you just a brief snippet from, it's called The Sons of the Founders. And I'll link part 1 in the description so you can just watch that series. It's a fascinating series. Go ahead. Okay, that's just a clip I clipped out of the documentary, right? The documentary is fascinating. Like, and some of them will just say, hey, I joined this many years ago. I had lost my family member and I needed some camaraderie. And then I found those people and then they treated me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You belong to something.
Yeah. And just to say they're all feds, I'm sorry, it's a crappy take, okay? Now, there's a guy, do you know Thomas Sewell?
Yeah.
In Australia?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's not the black guy.
Right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So he's a white guy and he runs like a hate group, you know, whatever. And he wants Australian for white people, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to watch their trailer for their group. And this group, right? Their thing is, I think they lost it recently because the bankers came for them. But basically, what they had is a gym with a boxing ring. And they would meet up there a couple times. And these dudes are just ripped. And this is their entire culture of their group. Now, if you've seen them marching somewhere in a tight shirt, you would be like, if you're Joe Rogan level smart, you'd be like, oh, they're feds. Look, they're runners. No, they're boxers. They all do this. And you know what you're doing when you're not boxing midweek? You're working out, you're eating chicken and tuna so that you can beat the crap out of that guy who got you last week. Because there's this whole thing of machismo, but it's camaraderie machismo.
Right.
It's not the, I hate you because of your skin color. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I gotta best these dudes. So let's run this clip. I forget the name of the group.
Okay.
Technical marketing. And we don't support any of the immigrants. Or we're not at this time supporting. So anyways, we didn't play that to promote it, but I'm just saying, do you see the culture that they have?
Right. Yeah.
There's no fat dudes there.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're federal agents.
Right.
And everybody who's talking about this agrees with Joe Rogan, basically. Just Google it. Just Google YouTube, Joe Rogan.
Sure.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, Joe Rogan. They must be all feds.
Right.
All these people are working together to get you to not join a movement.
Right.
And we already have a video on this, right?
Yeah.
But I just want to reinforce this idea. If they can get 100% of people to not join a movement, you'll sit around at home and say, I wish I could do something, but there's nothing I can do.
Right.
They have defeated you. And here's my idea about me personally joining a movement, right? I want to join a movement if I know there's no feds there, right? Ideally. But if you're not committing crimes, it doesn't matter if there's feds there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you said, okay, Patriot Front, I don't know if you know about all their activities, but they do commit crimes.
Okay.
They go around and they take these stencil things in their spray paint and they get like a thing of graffiti. Like they find an underpass with graffiti and they spray their stencil over the graffiti. And it says just different political messages that they believe in, you know? So they do vandalism. They also put stickers on places. I don't know if that's illegal, but some towns probably, you know?
Yeah.
So if you said, oh, there's some federal agents in there, you would have to say this. Okay, they've dedicated federal agents and informants and they're paying them all. They're doing all this undercover work and it's risky. So they can bring down the big 280 tickets for vandalism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to get $40 a ticket. They'll be 1,000, you know, well, thousands of dollars, but you know what I mean? Over the spread out over 150 people, there's going to be thousands of dollars. Everybody's going to have to pay like $8. You know what I'm saying? Is that your play? Because if you say, now, if you think these people are out there like lynching people, you know, then you're like, oh, I'm not going to join them because there might be a fed there. Okay, good idea. But also just don't lynch people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is political activity. I don't prefer to vandalize, honestly, just my personal thing. But if you're letting this alternative media that's not really alternative media, it's just the system, and even if they're not the system, they're just parodying the system's talking points while pretending like they're counterculture or alternative media, right? If you let them dissuade you from joining the movement, then they just beated you. It's a psyop, brother. They beat you.
Yeah.
Or sister, you know?
Right.
And I mean, that's my take from it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. As far as having feds and a group of people who do graffiti, I think the idea is to get some of them to do something wrong. So you don't want the movement to grow from a Fed perspective.
Okay.
So you don't want the 200 people becoming 2,000 and 20,000.
Right. But if in this situation, if they were disciplined, you know, if they're disciplined people, because if you join any movement, they should be telling you, hey, anybody here might be a federal agent. Don't take my word for it. Just don't say anything that's illegal. Don't do anything that's illegal.
Right.
Don't be convinced to. Come report it to 8 different people if they tell you to, because 7 of those might also be federal agents, and hopefully the 8th one's not. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about it before we filmed this, and I'm like, do you know what we could really use in our movement that we're making?
People?
Yes, true.
Okay.
Federal agents. What if a federal agent knocks on the door and says, hey, I'm an audiovisual guy. I love your stuff. I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
Okay, we wouldn't have you clicking buttons while everybody's waiting for the film to come up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? The sound quality would be much better. And we're not doing anything illegal until they pass a new law making some of the stuff we say illegal, or if we ever go to Europe, we could get arrested for that, you know, for some of the videos we made. But, you know, and even when I made like that short and it was revolt against the system.
Yeah.
It's not illegal to say that. Now I can't say probably, you know, meet me on Monday at the town square so we can, you know, lynch the mayor, or I don't know, some silly something, you know, but we don't say things like that.
Right.
So I'm just saying that they're using this argument so much about the
right.
And everybody's just scared. They're so scared. They're scared to click subscribe because you know they know who you're subscribed to.
Right.
And you'll do so little, not all of you, but you'll do so little that you won't click the subscribe button. You won't see good content again.
Right.
For fear of the federal government. My goodness.
Yeah, we got to a point where we were talking on the phone where we would joke about the list that we're on because we assume people are listening. And, you know, at some point it was like, is there any list that we're not on? Because instead of it being a shame thing.
Right. You want to be on all the lists.
Yeah, because if the bad guys think that something you're doing is bad, that means you're doing good.
Right.
Like you got to flip it around and think of it in a different way.
And if you're not on every list, you're doing it wrong.
Or on any list. Like, get on a list, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I was talking to my father on the phone, and he said, well, I can't say these one words, but remember that thing we were talking about? And it wasn't even that bad what he wanted to say, but he wouldn't say it, you know?
Yeah.
And then later on, he was talking about, like, you know, how bad the government is. And I'm like, well, I know how you feel because you wouldn't say those 2 words earlier.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's bad.
Right.
But listen, if you think about founding fathers and revolutionaries in historical terms, and then you won't click the subscribe button.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Or you won't donate $5 to the right group. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just leave a comment on a video that you're like, hey, great job, guys.
Leave a comment of something we're really missing out on that we could make another video out.
But I'm saying that's even going even way far. I'm just saying, hey, great video.
Okay, right.
Like literally, people won't even do that because you're afraid of being associated with.
Right.
Get on the list
Unless your profile is not public. Right.
Right.
And just think, if we would all be just ruled by the British still.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
If
there
this
was like
generation was there.
Yeah, if you took 5% of the cowardice in this generation, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'll even throw myself in there because there's a lot of years where I haven't been doing anything.
Yes.
And now I'm doing something. So I do understand if people are, you know, I got neighbors I talk to and they're just completely asleep. They're just doing their own thing. That is what it is. But if you're watching this video, you're probably not asleep. You're active and you should be active.
Or considering being active. Yeah, you're somewhere along the line.
Yeah, but find the right movement for you. Maybe we're not.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't like it. We talk about the Holocaust. Maybe you just don't like us. Maybe, like, I don't join the Patriot Front. Vandalism. It's just a little thing, and it's like, I'm not going to join them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Find your thing. Go do something.
Totally.
Make America great again. Something. I don't know. Anything. Make America go back to pre-1965 or pre-1913.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Right.
That's what I got.
All right. What are your thoughts on Joe Rogan, Patriot Front, joining a movement, anything like that? How about give us a good video or a bad video comment? Just commit.
How about we brave enough to criticize us in a comment?
Yeah, please.
Just talk crap.
Yeah. What was the comment we got? Liberal ass hat or something like that? Yeah. Drop us a liberal ass hat if that's what we're glowy.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think and hope to see you next time.